Hello everybody and welcome back to Enlightened Turtle. Today we're going to be taking a look into Horus, the falcon-headed god of ancient Egypt. Horus is a complex character and, like all Egyptian deities, has a complex story. In fact, Horus is the name of a sky god in ancient Egyptian mythology, which designates primarily two deities: Horus the Elder, or Horus the Great, who was the last born of the 5 original gods, and Horus the Younger, the son. So from the beginning, Horus is the product of a union between the god Osiris and the goddess Isis, two absolute titans of the Egyptian pantheon, and there will be a link in the description box below. I have done a video on both of these characters. If you're interested, please check it out. So Osiris was one of the most important gods of ancient Egypt, though the origins of Osiris are obscure. He was a local god of Busiris in Lower Egypt. However, Osiris was both a god of fertility and the embodiment of the dead and resurrected king by the year 2400 BCE. The first mention of his wife, goddess Isis, was in the 5th dynasty, which was a similar time period. Isis suffered the death and mutilation of her husband Osiris by the also divine brother Seth, and restored his body long enough through spells and magic to conceive a child before Osiris descended down into the underworld to rule as king of the afterlife. Isis guarded her baby Horus against serpents and beasts sent by his evil uncle until he came of age old enough to take on his uncle Seth, who was the god of war and chaos. Horus goes on to become one of the greatest of Egyptian gods in his own right. He was known as the Lord of the Sky and protector of the Pharaoh. Horus was often depicted as a man with a falcon's head, or sometimes in hieroglyphs as a falcon wearing the crown of Egypt, or sometimes as just a falcon. Falcons have incredible aerial speeds and maneuverability, and the ability to see prey up to 2 miles away. Of course, Horus was Lord of many things, including Lord of the Light, Lord of the Wisdom, and Lord of the Vengeance. However, it is the depictions of the falcon combined with his godly powers, such as his right eye being the sun and his left eye being the moon, that makes his title as Lord of the Sky most fitting. According to Egyptian myth, Horus lost his left eye in a struggle with Seth. The eye was magically restored by Hathor, and this restoration came to symbolize the process of making a person or spirit whole again, and with the powers to heal. For this reason, the symbol was often used in amulets and wore around the neck. That amulet and that symbol obviously being the all-seeing eye, the Eye of Horus. After war between the gods, Horus and Set had raged, and the lands and the people of Egypt began failing. The other gods had had enough and intervened, and a trial of the gods ensued. The trial lasted for 80 years, until the frustrated gods turned to the wise goddess Neith, mediator of disputes and spinner of destiny, who ruled in favour of Horus. She suggested, however, that Seth be given reign over the desert regions, while Horus rules the fertile Nile River Valley. As a consolation, she proposed that Seth should also be given 2 foreign goddesses as consorts, the warrior goddess Anat from Syria and Astarte, the queen of heaven from Phoenicia. This explains how Seth came to be associated with the peoples of foreign lands as well as the desert regions. Having conquered Seth and restoring order, Horus became known as Horu Sima Tawi, the Horus, uniter of the 2 lands. He reinstated the policies of his parents and rejuvenated the land, and ruled wisely as king for many, many years. It is for this reason that kings of Egypt from the 1st dynastic period on aligned themselves with Horus and chose a Horus name to rule under at their coronation. In time, he became combined with the sun god Ra to form a new deity, Ra Harakhti, god of the sun who sailed across the sky during the day. Depictions on the Namar palette represent falcon engravings, and maybe of the same god Horus. Rulers of the pre-dynastic period in Egypt, circa 6000 to 3150 BCE, were known as followers of Horus, which attests to an even earlier point of veneration in Egyptian history. Though more work needs to be done to confirm this link, it may be that this was a cult of the earlier Horus, or Horus the Elder. There is also a belief by some that links Horus of Egypt to Jesus of Nazareth, and there are some intriguing connections such as the divine birth, dates linked by association, and titles associated also, etc, etc. But to be honest, this is a can of worms, and I think we'll keep that for another day. So there we have it, guys. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new about these gods. Yeah, hope you like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Peace.